What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to episode number 547 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's KB coming at you. There we go. I can hear myself now. It's KB coming at you from Underground Studios, solo dolo style. We're going to talk Phils. We're going to talk Sixers because that's what's popping in the Philadelphia sports world news right now. We're going to dive into everything about the Phils. We have two more series before the All-Star break. And then we got some home run derby stuff. Obviously, we've got our derby stream, which has a new name. And we're going to talk all about that later on in the show. And get you guys set for Monday night, because we will be live on YouTube exclusively for our derby stream. So you won't want to miss out on that. And we'll talk everything when it comes to the Sixers, James Harden opting in, all that good stuff. But before we get started, make sure you guys are following us at Underground PHI, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/UndergroundSportsPHI, Twitch.tv/UndergroundSportsPHI, and now on TikTok. Yes, we have caved. We have bent the knee. Underground Sports Philadelphia is officially on TikTok. You can follow us at Underground PHI on there. Please do run us up our followers. We're trying to grow our TikTok platform now. So go follow us over there, as well as all the other social media platforms. You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311, KBIZZLE11 on Instagram, and KB Underground on TikTok. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a 5-star rating and review. It goes a long way for helping more people find the show, helps more people find Underground Sports Philadelphia as a whole and every show on our network, and helps us do really awesome stuff that we are planning and are going to try to make happen, but it makes it that much easier when you guys support us. So go subscribe, Apple, Spotify, leave a 5-star review, and subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. That's where you get full video episodes of every podcast on our network. You get live streams, you get original content, shorts, interviews, all that good stuff is on our YouTube channel. We are currently at 516 subscribers, trying to get to the ever-elusive 1,000, trying to get to 600 by the end of July. So be a friend, tell a friend, go subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. And of course, this podcast is presented by the City of Vineland, and the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. Through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. I'm going to check this other new camera that I'm testing some things out while I'm solo dolo. So you're not going to see any of this, and I'll be right back. All right, let's get into it. The Philadelphia Phillies, they embarrassingly lose 2 out of 3 to the Washington Nationals after being in such good graces of everybody. You do so well on the road. You win 9 straight on the road. You beat the Mets. You beat the Cubs. You swept the Cubs. Great sweep there in Chicago. What do you say? And then you come home and you lose 2-1 on Friday to the Nationals. You lose 5-4 on Sunday's rubber match to the Nationals. But you win 19-4 on Saturday, and you outscore the Nationals 26-10. 25-10. Math is hard. Yeah, 25-10. 25 Math is hard, guys. Math is real hard, especially when you're as exhausted as I am today for some reason. 2 plus 5 is 7 plus 4 is 11. 25-11, the Phillies outscored the Nationals, and they lose the series. It's it's giving Angels versus Rockies recently. Flat out embarrassing. You should not be losing games to the Washington Nationals, as before this series, they had 32 wins on the season. It's an embarrassing effort. You should not be losing one-run games to the Nationals. You should not be scoring one run against the Nationals in a singular game. It's a flat-out embarrassing performance. The Phillies should be disgusted with that performance. I don't care how many people online are saying, oh, it's not a big deal. They lost the series to the Nationals. Yeah, division games mean a lot this year, guys. And when you're not beating your division, you're setting yourself up for failure when August and September roll around. You need to win these games, especially in a pivotal moment where the Marlins are playing the Braves. The Braves are the hottest team in baseball right now. They get swept. The Giants, they lose 2 out of 3 to the Mets. Those are your main competition right now, along with the Dodgers, who are playing these bum teams like the Royals and the Rockies and stuff like that and handling business. You have to keep pace with teams like the Marlins, like the Giants. And when you lose 2 out of 3 to a crummy Nationals franchise, a stolen franchise at that, that's not good. That is not good for your wild card competition. And sure, you're still only a game and a half out of a playoff spot. But if you swept the Nationals this week, you're that much closer to being the third wild card. You're that much closer to being the second wild card. Just a flat-out embarrassing performance. The Phillies need to be better than what they were this past weekend, because you've got Tampa Bay Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you've got the Marlins Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That is hardcore playoff competition going into the All-Star break, and you need to play to your competition's level, if not better. Playing against the Rays Tuesday, you're seeing old pal Zach Eflin versus Aaron Nola. My heart is going to shatter because those are the rebuild boys, and those two facing off should have never happened. I'm still heartbroken that Eflin's not here, but he's thriving with the Rays, and I'm happy for him, especially because he got his payday. But you're playing Tampa and you're playing Miami. Those are 2 playoff caliber teams right now. The Marlins are ahead of you in the standings in the NL East by 3 games. The Marlins this coming week, their competition is a little bit easier than yours because they are playing the St. Louis Cardinals for 4 games. So they also have another game that they're going to be playing this week that you're now wholeheartedly rooting for the Cardinals these next 4 days, which is something that aches my heart because I can't stand that franchise. But the Phillies need to be better. They need to be more consistent offensively. Derek Hall is back. Cody Clemens got sent down. Matt and I talked about that on the last episode. When do you call Derek Hall up? They decided it was time to get his bat in the lineup. So we'll see how Derek Hall performs. But the Phillies need to be more consistent offensively, especially when the pitching is as good as it has been. You need to perform to that level offensively and give your pitching the satisfaction of knowing they're coming in to win ball games. As I just got the notification 3 minutes ago, NL Reliever of the Month, Philadelphia Phillies closer Craig Kimbrell, well-deserved. He's been pitching out of his mind, should be an all-star. Hopefully he gets in as a replacement. We'll talk about the all-star stuff as well. But Phillies, going into these final 2 series before the all-star break, they're 44-39. They've been much better on the road recently, so hopefully that trend continues with these 6 games on the road to close out the first half of the season. And coming out of the All-Star break, you have the most games at home, I believe, of any team in Major League Baseball. And if it's not MLB, it's certainly the National League. So a big home field advantage down the stretch, which feels like the first time in a long time the Phillies have had that going into the DAWG days and into, the key moments in August and September. So hopefully that's something that fixes itself for the Phils and they get some stuff figured out and they're able to go down to Tampa and steal 2 out of 3. And then they go to Miami and take 2 out of 3, if not all 3, because effectively those Miami Marlins games, they are worth 2 games in the standings, because not only is it that they're gaining ground on you in the division, they're gaining ground on you in the wild card, and moving more space in between yourself and Miami in the wild card is rough. So you want to take care of business, especially in those Marlins games. We're rooting for the Cardinals this week. Who would have thunk to beat the Marlins, knock them down, make it a little bit more manageable going into that Marlins series? Hey, who knows? Maybe If the Phillies take care of business against the Rays, while the Cardinals hopefully beat down on the Marlins, the Phillies leapfrog the Marlins in the process going into that series, and then they can gain even more ground by winning those games against the Marlins. Who would have thunk? What a concept. But you got to win the games. You got to win the games against the bad teams, and Phillies, unfortunately, were not able to do that this weekend, but there's still lots of time left. It's only the earliest moments of July, and we got plenty of ball left. Trade deadline's a looming, and I can't wait for that to happen. We're getting the Home Run Derby participants trickling in, which is very fun. We are going to have Moonshot Mania, the newly rebranded stream name for our annual Home Run Derby watch-along that will be exclusively on YouTube, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Working on getting some guests, myself, Patty Pitts, potentially DJ. Not sure about Steve just yet, but we'll find out because obviously the Getting the Whole Boys record on Monday nights and the Home Run Derby is on Monday night. But nonetheless, Moonshot Mania is going to be a doozy. And we've got a bunch of participants in so far. I believe we have 6 confirmed. Pulling it up right here. So, in Seattle, we will have reigning 2022 American League Rookie of the Year Julio Rodriguez in the Home Run Derby, which is going to be very exciting. We have Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Mookie Betts, Randy Arozarena, 2-time champion Pete Alonso, and Baltimore Orioles catcher Adley Rutschman, Bryce Harper's All-Star Game vote tandem pal. So 6 of the 8 players confirmed for the Home Run Derby. Julio Rodriguez, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Mookie Betts, Randy Arozarena, Pete Alonso, and Adley Rutschman. Once we have the entire roster, we might be doing a giveaway. So you want to stay tuned. You want to subscribe to the YouTube channel and not miss out on that. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the Home Run Derby. I'm excited for the All-Star break. It's going to be fun to kind of assess where the Phillies are at going into the All-Star break and what they can do to fix themselves to be well-equipped for the second half of the season. And speaking of the All-Star break, it feels so good to be right, ladies and gentlemen. It feels so, so good to be right as the boy, the homie, the certified #our guy, Nick Castellanos, is a 2023 MLB All-Star confirmed this weekend. He will be part of the reserves roster heading to Seattle. I couldn't be more thrilled and stoked for the boy, stoked for his family. The Castellanos family has been following us and rocking with us since Nick was in Cincinnati in 2021 when we dubbed him #our guy. We fought in the trenches for the boy all year last year when people were nagging him, getting down on him, and I think Ryan Castellanos, his brother, said it best. I'm going to pull up Ryan's tweet here because it's true, and I feel this. Like, we battled alongside the Castellanos family. We were part of the Castellanos crew all last year and said, it's going to turn around. Nick's going to be fine. This is just an anomaly year, and so much is going on for him personally and the injury he was dealing with. And then he turns it on in the playoffs, plays unbelievable defense, and it's carried over to this year. And I couldn't be more stoked for the boy, Nick Castellanos, 2023 All-Star, second All-Star nod of his career. But Ryan Castellanos tweeted last night, Nick wore it on the chin all last year. He kept his head down and worked. Dude went from fans punching bag to an all-star in 7 months. That's called being a DAWG. That's Nick from Philly. That's the boy right there. Shout out to Nicky C, our guy through and through. One day we'll be on this podcast, hopefully, because we absolutely love Nick Castellanos and couldn't be more thrilled for the boy being an all-star. Maybe we'll do an all-star jersey giveaway for Nick Castellanos since he is #our guy. But love the boy, stoked for him. And it is very weird, though, that the reigning National League champion Philadelphia Phillies have one singular all-star when you can make the case Bryce Harper could be in there, Bryson Stott could be in there. Brandon Marsh potentially. You could make the case for Craig Kimbrell, Zach Wheeler, JT. It's very weird that the Phillies have one All-Star. Our manager is the National League All-Star manager. Coaching staff is there. And I know, like, guys will get replaced. You know, pitchers won't be able to go because they pitch on the Sunday going into the All-Star break, stuff like that. But it is weird on face value, surface level, that Nick Castellanos is the only All-Star we have, when I feel like there's about 3 or 4 that the Phillies could be sending. So we'll see if anything changes as, you know, the days go by and we get closer to the All-Star break. Hopefully that is the case, because Nicky C deserves to have some of the boys out there in Seattle with him. But very weird that the Phillies only have one All-Star, and they are the reigning National League champions. They are in the thick of a wild card playoff hunt here in July, and who knows? That's why I don't make the rules. And I mean, this All-Star starters roster for both the American and National League is so boring. Like, I couldn't have been more bored with the announcements of who is in these All-Star starting rosters, because let me pull up these rosters here, because it is not fun whatsoever. So the All-Star starters for the American League. The American League. Shohei Ohtani, fair. Jonah Heim, Yandy Diaz, Marcus Semien, Josh Jung, Corey Seager, Randy Arozarena, Mike Trout, Aaron Judge. It's the Texas Rangers featuring Aaron Judge. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 teams represented in your American League starters, and that's simply because Aaron Judge is a starter. Aaron Judge is the only singular player from a team starting in the American League All-Star roster. Everyone else is 2 or more from the same team. Then we go to the National League. Your DH, J.D. Martinez, then Sean Murphy, Freddie Freeman, Luis Arias, Nolan Arenado, Orlando Arcia, Corbin Carroll, Ronald Acuna Jr., Mookie Betts. You have 3 Dodgers, 3 Braves, a Cardinal, a Marlin, and an Arizona Diamondback. And Freddie Freeman's a former Brave. Like, yawn. How is Orlando Arcia an All-Star? How is Sean Murphy an All-Star? How J.D. Martinez is in as the DH? Like the Mookie Betts, the Freddie Freeman, the Luis Arias, Corbin Carroll, Ronald Acuna Jr., I get that. But man, what a boring All-Star team for both leagues. Like, I'm just bored. The reserves are a lot more fun. I'm going to try to pull them up here if I can find the list. So here we go. The All-Star reserve pitchers: Alexis Diaz, Camilo Doval, Bryce Elder, Zach Gallen, Josiah Gray, Josh Hader, Mitch Keller, Clayton Kershaw, Justin Steele, Spencer Strider, Marcus Stroman, Devin Williams. And then your reserves are Elias Diaz, Will Smith, Ozzie Albies, Pete Alonso, Matt Olson, Austin Riley, Dansby Swanson, Nick Castellanos, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Juan Soto, Jorge Soler. That's the National League. And your American League, it's Felix Bautista, Yenier Cano, Luis Castillo, Emmanuel Clace, Garrett Cole, Nate Eovaldi, Kevin Gossman, Sonny Gray, Kenley Jansen, Michael Lorenzen, Shane McClanahan, Shohei Ohtani, and Framber Valdez. And then your reserves: Salvador Perez, Adley Rutschman, Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Whit Merrifield, Jose Ramirez, Yordan Alvarez, Adolis Garcia, Austin Hayes, Luis Robert Jr., and Brent Rooker. So there's your Oakland A's de facto All-Star, Brent Rooker. Just not a lot of variety from these All-Star teams. And it's very weird that in every year Bryce Harper has been a member of the Phillies. Now, part of this was due to injury one year, but he will not play in an All-Star game, barring a substitution of some sort for this year. Every year that Bryce Harper has been on the Phillies, he will not have played in the All-Star game, and he's won an MVP. Obviously, last year goes to the World Series. Like, It's very weird that Bryce has not represented the Phillies in an All-Star game since he's gotten here in 2019. It's just very strange. But let's take a look at the NL and AL, and specifically NL East run differential. It's brought to you by our awesome friends over at Wasted Wedge. And a new age of golf has arrived, and if you're looking to be the talk and envy of your group and create memories with your friends and family, look no further than the lineup of Wasted Wedge products and merchandise. I want you to think traditional shot ski that you used to see at college parties and everything, how annoying those things were to carry around. They're clunky, they're big, they're bulky, glass breaks, tons of hot glue goes into them. Well, Wasted Wedge fixed that. It's all easy, compactable. You have extender pieces to get more people involved, more shots, more fun. And it's plastic cups. It's not glass. It's easy to clean, easy to maintain, and it folds down into a carrying bag that fits in the side pocket of a golf bag. It's the best. It's the best for tailgates. It's great for the golf course, great for parties. 4th of July. Whip that bad boy out. You are going to be the talk of your barbecue. These Wasted Wedges are a blast to drink shots out of on and off the course, and you guys can check them out at wastedwedge.com or find them at Wasted Wedge on Instagram and Facebook. Be sure to follow them. Let them know you're coming from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Order a Wasted Wedge for the summer. It's going to be the talk of your party. It's going to be the talk of your golf outing. Whatever it may be, you will be the party bringer with Wasted Wedge. Remember the name, wastedwedge.com. Let's get into the AL, NL, and of course NL East run differentials. Starting off with the Atlanta Braves, who are 56-27 in first place in the NL East, have won 8 straight games. They've scored a division-high 470 runs for a plus 139 run differential. The Miami Marlins, they're not going away anytime soon, everybody. They're 48-37 with a division-low 341 runs scored for a negative 22 run differential. Playing at a 40-45 expected win-loss. Then we go to the 44-39 Philadelphia Phillies, who have scored the second most runs in the division at 377. And for the first time all year, the Fightin' Phils have a positive run differential at +6. They're a +6 run differential, positive for the first time since the 4th inning of Game 1. But in the official scorebook, first time having a plus run differential all season long. Let's go. We're in the positives, everybody. We dug ourselves out of the hole. Let's keep doing it. Phil's playing at a 42-41 expected win-loss. So playing a little above their heads, but not too much. The Lowell New York Mets at 38-46 have a negative 12 run differential. And the Washington Stolen Franchise Nationals at 34-49 have a negative 75 run differential. Everybody in the NL Central, outside of the 4th place Chicago Cubs, have a negative run differential, including the 1st place Milwaukee Brewers with a negative 14 run differential at 46-39. They're playing at a 41-44 expected win-loss, though, so hopefully they come back down to earth a little bit, and we're rooting for the Cubs this week as they play the Milwaukee Brewers in terms of wild card standings and all that jazz. And then we look at the NL West. Everybody's positive except for the Colorado Rockies, who are at a negative 142 run differential, which is just absurd. We are rooting for the Seattle Mariners this week to beat the San Francisco Giants. We're rooting for the Pirates to beat the LA Dodgers. Let's go Pirates. Let's go Mariners. Let's go Cubs. Let's do the damn thing. And then we look at the American League. Everybody in the AL East has a positive run differential. Everybody's at least one game above 500. The Tampa Bay Rays now leading the American League and baseball as a whole with a plus 157 run differential. They have leapfrogged the Texas Rangers, who are at a plus 155. The Oakland A's, though, still with the worst run differential in all of baseball at a negative 237 run differential. At 23-63 record-wise. Kansas City Royals at a negative 131 for the second worst in the American League and third worst in all of baseball. Run differential's getting crazy out here in the streets, ladies and gentlemen. So, gotta score runs if you want to win games, and it's great seeing run differential be talked about in the national landscape because we've been talking about it on this podcast for years as a way to gauge if your team is good, bad, or in between. We're the originators of giving run differential its credit as an official stat. So that is your NL East and, of course, Major League Baseball run differential rundown brought to you by our friends over at Wasted Wedge. Let's get into the Philadelphia 76ers as James Harden has opted into his contract with the intent on being traded. Tyrese Maxey is untouchable. Damian Lillard's on the trade block, and it's brought to you by our friends over at Kenwood Beer, the official beer of Underground Sports Philadelphia, who just did an unbelievable rebrand. Gold Top Kenny's, brand new merch. 6-pack's going to be available in stores soon. 15-pack's going to be available in stores soon. The Gold Top Kenny's are absolutely gorgeous. Kenny on tap in the Philadelphia area. You got to find it. They got brand new shirts that look beautiful. A Kenny beach towel available on their website as well. You guys can go to kenwoodbeer.com and check out that refreshing light beer that's just 4.1% ABV, 127 calories, just 10 grams of carbs. Come on now. Kenwood Beer is doing it right. Actually, a little bit cleaned up. 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. Smooth, clean, and bright with taste to boot, Kenny is the routine choice of folks who want a balanced, flavorful, no-frills beer that's right for any occasion. Some call it the best light beer they've ever had. We just say you can't beat the original. Must be 21 or older to do so. And, of course, please drink responsibly. The Sixers drama is peak off-season. As Damian Lillard wants to be traded. Of course, everybody on Sixers Twitter is, come home, Dame, come to the Sixers. It's not going to happen. I would be absolutely stunned if Damian Lillard ends up being a Sixer. Apparently, there was a quote that was circulating around from potentially Daryl Morey about Tyrese Maxey, which I am of the proponent. You don't trade Tyrese Maxey. Like, he is your one blue chip player outside of Joel Embiid. That is actually younger. Like, Embiid's heading into his age 30 season next year. Like, he's not a spring chicken anymore. So apparently the Sixers, according to Brian Windhorst on the Hoop Collective podcast, the 76ers want you to know that you can't have Tyrese Maxey. Prime Michael Jordan is available, don't call. 25-year-old LeBron James is available, lose our number. Giannis Antetokounmpo says, I want to be a Sixer. If Tyrese Maxey is the ass, just keep walking. Tyrese Maxey, I have been assured, will not be traded. That's according to Brian Windhorst, who has been pretty in tap with the Sixers over the past couple of years. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with Tyrese Maxey being untouchable. Tyrese is coming off his best season as a pro. Let's not forget, Tyrese didn't play college basketball pretty much. He played like a month and a half before the Pandy-Wandy shut everything down. Tyrese last year averaged 20.3 points a game, 3.5 assists, 2.9 rebounds, and 48.1% shooting from the field, and 43.4% from three. Like, I get Dame is a great player. He's the best Portland Trailblazer of all time. But when it comes to Tyrese Maxey being 22 years old, everybody, let's not lose that perspective. Tyrese Maxey is 22 years old. He's only going to get better. Why do you want to trade a young piece like Tyrese Maxey, who has shown that he has gotten better? It's not like Matisse Thybulle. It's not like Ben Simmons, where there was no progression in skill set, no progression in his game. Tyrese Maxey, year after year, has proven he has what it takes to get better and better, year after year, month after month, game after game. Damian Lillard is a phenomenal player. I'm a huge fan of Dame. He's 32 years old. He's 32. You're effectively saying that if you make a trade for Damian Lillard, which I'm saying is not going to happen, you are pushing your chips in and banking that this coming NBA season, 2023-2024 season, is the final year the Sixers have to win a championship in the Joel Embiid era. You are pushing your chips in the middle of the table and saying, this is all we have left. We are emptying the tank. This is it. Damian Lillard is the key to Joel Embiid and the Sixers franchise winning their first championship since 1983. Well, I'm here to tell you that trade's not going to happen. Dame wants to go to Miami. A bunch of other teams are in the mix for him that can offer better packages if you're not going to include Tyrese Maxey in a trade, which I'd be stunned if Daryl Morey does. So I don't see Damian Lillard becoming a 76er. But what I was thrilled to see, and I would love to see how he works with Tyrese Maxey, because I think his work ethic, his dog mentality, and his skill sets complement what Tyrese Maxey does really well in a backcourt in the NBA. 76ers signed Patrick Beverly, baby. Pat Bev is in Philly. Shout out to the boy Roan. I'm stoked for him and the Pat Bev pod having his co-host in Philadelphia now. It's going to be sick. I'm stoked for the homie. So shout out to Roan. Shout out to the Pat Bev pod. Patrick Beverly on the Sixers. It's a great contract, $3.2 million fully guaranteed for 1 year. To bring Pat Bev's veteran leadership into this locker room, to bring his work ethic into this locker room, and to bring just his experience and his savviness and his grit and grind to be around the Joel Embiids, to be around the Tyrese Maxeys, to be around any young player that may end up on this Sixers roster is such a benefit, and it's such a good fit for Pat Bev himself for this portion of his career, and for the Joel Embiids and the Tyrese Maxey. Like, you saw what PJ Tucker did for this Sixers team in terms of locking guys in, making sure that they were focused when it mattered outside of Game 6 and 7. But PJ Tucker has that dog in him that we've always talked about with PJ Tucker. You add Pat Bev into that mix with PJ Tucker, that's two junkyard dogs coming at you, ready to go and strap it up and fight for the boys. And I'm stoked that Pat Bev is here. I think it's a great fit. Yes, it adds into the former Houston Rocket trope of Daryl Morey, but I think this is such a good fit for Pat Bev, for the Sixers. When I saw this signing, I was stoked. I was pumped. I'm hyped that Patrick Beverly is a Sixer. He's a guy that I feel like is the type of player that you hate when he's not on your team, but you love him when he's playing for your squad. And I couldn't be more stoked that Pat Bev is playing for our squad. He is born and bred for Philadelphia with his antics, the way that he carries and conducts himself. He's that dude. He's a bull. He's a Philly bull through and through. And I'm so stoked that Pat Bev is here. Couldn't be happier. Let's go. We need a Pat Bev pod Underground Sports Philadelphia collab ASAP with Roan, Pat Bev, myself, and Matt. Need that to happen. Let's make it happen, boys. Let's make it happen. Let's fucking go. Pat Bev in Philly. Couldn't be more excited. James Harden, though, the guy behind me, who's been behind us since 2020, 2021. He wants to be traded, allegedly, to the Clippers. I don't know. Brian Windhorst is saying that there's a possibility that he stays on the Sixers going into the season. Which, would that shock me? Absolutely not. He opted in for a reason. It's that if he gets traded, great. You know, he gets his wish. The Sixers get pieces back. All that good stuff. If he doesn't get traded going into the season, it still creates cap flexibility for the Sixers and makes things easier so that when Christmas time rolls around, trade deadline rolls around, stuff like that, the Sixers can still trade him if he so chooses. There's reports that Tobias Harris, the Sixers don't want to trade him. I don't see how that's going to be possible if you want to build out this roster, but that's just me. So the James Harden trade speculation watch, cue the music, is on. We'll see what happens with James Harden, with the Sixers, with Dame Lillard, with whoever else may be in the mix. But the NBA offseason has been insane with contracts. Dylan Brooks gets $80 million from the Rockets. Fred VanVleet gets the biggest bag of his life from the Rockets. Austin Reeves gets paid. Kyle Kuzma gets paid. Tyrese Halliburton gets paid. Like, these NBA contracts are wild. We'll dive into a bunch of that more on Wednesday night show. Matt will be out for the next couple of shows. I think like the next 4 to 6 shows, something like that, as he and my sister are embarking on their honeymoon finally. And they will be out of the country. Matt's going to Italy with my sister. So, going to be working on seeing who's going to be hosting with your boy for the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that, and you'll see. Maybe we'll have some guest hosts hopping on to talk Phils, talk Sixers, talk Eagles, talk Flyers, talk Union. Who knows? That's why you got to follow us on the socials. At Underground PHI, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/UndergroundSportsPHI, Twitch.tv/UndergroundSportsPHI, because that's where you can watch every Wednesday night show live while we record it before it goes out to the public on podcast app of choice and on YouTube. And of course, now you can follow us on TikTok at Underground PHI. Be sure to get your merch at PHI Apparel Company. They're the best in the game. There's no doubt in my mind and in their minds and in everybody's minds. You will stand out in the crowd because with the unique designs that PHI Apparel Company has for Philly sports fans and for our podcast network, you're going to stand out in the crowd. Get your Underground Sports Philadelphia merch. It's the most effective and direct way to support everything we're doing here. Get a shirt, get a hoodie. We're working on new merch for the summertime. Hopefully we'll be live in the next week or so. Working on getting that over to our homies over at PHI Apparel Company. But in the meantime, go to phiapparel.co, use code Underground, and you get 10% off any and all merch orders. That includes everything on the store, including our merch. phiapparel.co, code Underground, 10% off any and all merch orders. Support us, effective and direct. Right there, when you buy merch, you're automatically supporting us and helping us take this thing to the next level. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast feed on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. And, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. That's where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week. You get full video episodes of every podcast on our network. And you get clips, shorts, live streams, interviews, all that good stuff. Moonshot Mania, our home run derby watch-along, will be exclusively on our YouTube channel. So go subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend. And let's get to 600 subscribers before the end of July. Let's get to 1,000. We put this out on the Outside the Box podcast, trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before DJ's birthday on Labor Day. Hashtag DJ's 1K. Let's get it. Let's subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend, share it with your people. Need to get to 1,000 subscribers before September 4th. Can we do it? We got about 2 months. Let's make it happen, people. You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311, KBIZZLE11 on Instagram, and KB Underground on TikTok. So go follow me there if you want to keep up to date and see all the weird shit I post. Weird being good. Big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems, Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated, for their continued support of this podcast. And this show, obviously, presented by the City of Vineland. Whether you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or are a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process, and their goal is to make the process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And this has been episode number 547 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the City of Vineland. I'm KB. I will see you Wednesday night with a guest host that you won't want to miss. So until then, I'm getting the heck up out of here. I am signing off. Peace.